India, a nation teeming with vibrant culture, rich history, and boundless potential, stands as a testament to the dynamism of the developing world. From the snow-capped peaks of the Himalayas to the sun-kissed beaches of Goa, the country's diverse landscapes mirror its multifaceted society. Its economy, a complex tapestry woven with threads of both progress and disparity, has witnessed remarkable growth in recent decades, propelling the nation onto the global stage as a force to be reckoned with. The rise of technology hubs like Bengaluru and the financial prowess of Mumbai are just a few examples of this economic surge. From the bustling metropolises to the rural heartlands, India's economic engine churns, fueled by a burgeoning middle class, a youthful population, and a spirit of entrepreneurship. The entrepreneurial spirit is evident in the numerous startups that have emerged, driving innovation and creating new opportunities. Yet beneath the veneer of progress lies a stark reality. India's economic miracle has not reached all its citizens equally. The glittering skyscrapers often cast shadows over sprawling slums, highlighting the deep-seated inequalities that persist. While the nation boasts a burgeoning class of billionaires and a rapidly expanding middle class, a significant portion of its population continues to grapple with poverty, inequality, and a lack of access to basic necessities. The contrast between the opulent lifestyles of the wealthy and the daily struggles of the poor is a poignant reminder of the work that remains to be done. This stark contrast, a tale of two Indias, raises crucial questions about the distribution of wealth, the efficacy of government policies, and the very nature of inclusive growth. How can a nation so rich in resources and talent ensure that its prosperity is shared by all? The roots of India's economic disparities run deep, entangled in a complex web of historical factors, social structures, and political realities. The remnants of colonial rule, coupled with entrenched social hierarchies, have left an indelible mark on the nation's economic landscape. From the legacy of colonialism to the challenges of caste-based discrimination, the nation has long grappled with systemic issues that have hindered equitable development. These historical injustices continue to shape the socio-economic fabric of the country, making the journey towards equality even more challenging. While India has made significant strides in addressing these challenges, the path to economic justice remains long and arduous. Government initiatives and community-driven projects are steps in the right direction, but much more needs to be done to bridge the gap. As India continues its economic ascent, it faces a critical juncture. The decisions made by policymakers, business leaders, and civil society will shape the nation's future trajectory. The choices made today will determine whether the nation can bridge its economic divide and create a future where prosperity is shared by all. Investing in education, healthcare, and social welfare programs is essential to building a more inclusive society. Addressing income inequality, strengthening social safety nets, and investing in education and healthcare are just some of the crucial steps needed to create a more just and equitable society. Only through concerted efforts and a commitment to inclusive growth can India truly realize its potential as a global powerhouse. The lifeblood of any nation's economy flows through its intricate network of taxation, a system designed to generate revenue for essential public services, infrastructure development, and social welfare programs. In India, the tax system stands as a complex and often daunting labyrinth, with a myriad of levies, exemptions, and regulations that can leave even the most seasoned experts scratching their heads. At the heart of India's tax system lies a two-pronged approach: direct taxes, levied on income and profits, and indirect taxes, imposed on goods and services. The former, exemplified by the much-discussed income tax, targets individuals and corporations based on their earnings, while the latter, embodied by the Goods and Services Tax, GST, casts a wider net, impacting consumption patterns across the board. The GST, introduced in 2017, was a landmark reform aimed at unifying the fragmented tax landscape of India. The income tax, a familiar foe to salaried employees and business owners alike, operates on a progressive scale, with higher earners theoretically contributing a larger proportion of their income to the national coffers. However, the complexities of exemptions, deductions, and varying tax slabs often result in a system where compliance remains a challenge and tax evasion a persistent concern. On the other hand, the GST, hailed as a transformative reform aimed at simplifying India's indirect tax structure, has had its own share of teething problems. While consolidating a plethora of previous taxes into a single unified system, the GST's implementation has been fraught with challenges, from technical glitches to compliance burdens, particularly for small and medium-sized enterprises. Despite these hurdles, the GST aims to create a more transparent and efficient tax system, reducing the cascading effect of multiple taxes and fostering a common national market. As India continues to refine its tax policies, the balance between direct and indirect taxes remains crucial for sustainable economic growth and equitable wealth distribution. India, often hailed as the world's largest democracy and a beacon of hope for the developing world, grapples with a stark reality, a widening chasm between the haves and the have-nots. This disparity is not just a statistic, it is a lived experience for millions of Indians who struggle daily to secure basic necessities. While the nation has witnessed unprecedented economic growth in recent decades, the benefits of this prosperity have not been distributed equitably, leaving a significant portion of the population mired in poverty and deprivation. The glittering skyscrapers and booming tech hubs stand in stark contrast to the sprawling slums and rural areas where many still lack access to clean water and electricity. Statistics paint a grim picture of the disparity that plagues Indian society. The numbers reveal a story of inequality that is both shocking and disheartening, highlighting the urgent need for systemic change. According to recent reports, the richest 1% of Indians own more than 40% of the nation's wealth, a staggering concentration of resources that underscores the deep economic divide. While the bottom 50% of the population struggles to make ends meet with a meager share of the economic pie, this stark contrast between the affluent and the impoverished is a daily reality for many. This concentration of wealth in the hands of a privileged few has far-reaching consequences, not only for the impoverished, but for the very fabric of Indian society. It affects social cohesion, economic stability, and the overall well-being of the nation. The widening wealth gap fuels social unrest, breeds resentment, and undermines the very foundations of a just and equitable society. It creates an environment where the marginalized feel increasingly disenfranchised and disconnected from the nation's progress. It creates a system where opportunities are skewed, access to basic necessities is unequal, and the cycle of poverty becomes increasingly difficult to break. Education, healthcare, and employment opportunities remain out of reach for many, perpetuating a cycle of disadvantage. This disparity is not merely an economic issue, it is a moral imperative that demands urgent attention. The ethical implications of such inequality call for immediate and sustained action from all sectors of society. Addressing this challenge requires a multi-pronged approach, encompassing progressive taxation policies, robust social safety nets, and targeted investments in education, healthcare, and skill development for the underprivileged. Only through comprehensive and inclusive policies can we hope to bridge this gap. Creating a more equitable India, where the fruits of economic growth are shared by all, is not just a matter of social justice, but a necessity for sustained and inclusive development. It is a vision of a future where every Indian has the opportunity to thrive and contribute to the nation's prosperity.